Oh snap. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. My name's Patrick. If you enjoy true crime and all kinds of other things, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Go ahead, hit the like button if you've been in there waiting to go live. We are on TikTok as well, and we got a bunch of craziness to talk about, starting with this lady, y'all. This is crazy. Texas mom left 1-year-old home alone to meet a Hinge date.
You what?
Man, you must be crazy as hell. And it's bad, y'all. Like, you think, like, oh, maybe she was just down the road, or, she was, half an hour away. Nope. Y'all, it's going to get bad. Let's just jump right into it. You guys ready for this? YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. TikTok, hit the follow button. If you're new here, keep tapping the screen like crazy. Check this out.
This is an unbelievable one. A young mother is accused of leaving her toddler at home alone while she went to a completely different city to meet up with a man she met on a dating app. That is according to police in Texas. And they say when they went to check on this 16-month-old, they found him hanging out of a broken window. We're going to be digging into the details of
16-month-old hanging out of a window. Man, you sound crazy.
Of this strange and disturbing case and the consequences this mother could face. Reese Myers, a 25-year-old Army veteran, is in some very serious trouble after she allegedly left her 16-month-old son home alone with dogs while she, get this, went on a date with a guy that she met on the dating app Hinge. Yes. That's the allegation now. That's what we're talking about. The story actually starts several months ago, so let's go back. Police in Killeen, Texas were alerted that they needed to do a child welfare check back in July because they went to this apartment complex, and what do they find? A toddler hanging out of a broken window of a ground floor apartment. They say neighbors were trying to help this child, especially because there was this aggressive dog that was near him. Not entirely clear if the dog was trying to attack the child or protect the child, but obviously a very distressing situation.
What the hell? Hanging out of a window? There's a dog there going crazy? This is nuts.
Now, according to an affidavit, the window wasn't shattered, but there was cardboard and plexiglass that had been used to cover it. Officers removed it to get inside the apartment. They found this 16-month-old wearing only a shirt. He was covered in feces. He had diaper rash. And officers say that it looks like Myers had intended to leave her baby alone for a long period of time. There were some
Man, you gonna burn in hell for that.
doors in the apartment that were closed. There was a baby gate blocking off the kitchen. There were deadbolts on the doors and windows that were locked. This is all according to the affidavit.
Was there food or water? Or better yet, was there an adult?
So, of course, police were very concerned and alarmed, and they called Myers right away. And she allegedly tells them that she's in San Antonio, more than 2 hours away. The affidavit says that she told officers that she matched with a guy on the dating app Hinge, went to San Antonio to meet up with him to go on a date. She claimed that she'd been gone since the day before. Now, Myers allegedly told police that, look, she had called a babysitter that she'd worked with before, that the babysitter was supposed to be looking after her child.
The babysitter was supposed to be looking after your child, but you didn't call or check in to see if everything was okay? Man, you sound crazy.
She said that she'd spoken with the woman before through Facebook. Problem is, police get in touch with that babysitter, and it turns out she apparently hadn't spoken with Myers since last year. Her phone showed she had no Facebook communication with her since December of 2023. And police also made contact with another woman, maybe former roommate of Myers, said she lived with Myers for a short while. She claims that Myers was neglectful toward the child, often leaving at night, not returning until the next day. The toddler was checked out at a hospital, taken to the care of Child Protective Services, and officers told Myers she has to come back immediately. Here's where there's another wrinkle in the story. She apparently didn't. Authorities ended up arresting her out in California on the Fort Irwin Army base. That's
what the hell? She said, oh, hell no, I'm gonna fly to California.
Almost, what, 1,400 miles away? and now she was brought back to Texas. She's been in custody ever since. So according to her LinkedIn page, Myers is a veteran of the U.S.
Her LinkedIn page, man, she wasn't linked in. This chick is crazy as hell. She's linked out, man. Leave your baby alone in your apartment and go to a city 2 hours away. Then the cops call you and say, hey, what the hell are you doing? Get back here. And you say, okay. And then you fly to California. Man, you are crazy.
Army. She had worked as a paralegal for a few law firms, and now she faces a charge of abandoning, endangering a child. The statute reads, a person commits an offense if having custody, care, or control of a child younger than 15 years, he intentionally or she intentionally abandons the child in any place under circumstances that expose the child to an unreasonable risk of harm. This is a third-degree felony. It carries a prison sentence of, our understanding, to be 2 to 10 years. I want to bring in former prosecutor, criminal defense attorney Florina Altschuyler to talk more about this. Florina, thanks so much for coming on.
Crazy.
My gosh, what do you make of this headline?
Very clearly, this is unreasonable conduct by a mother who is placing her own interests well ahead of the well-being of her very young 16-month-old child. This is not acceptable behavior, and this is criminal behavior. I think quite clearly, by leaving her child for that long without an adult being there, with a window that was broken but sort of temporarily fixed, with 2 animals in the house. How's this child supposed to feed himself? How's this child supposed to change himself? How's this child supposed to have access to hydration? Just completely, shockingly, unbelievably unacceptable, and quite clearly well within the definition of the criminal statute under the Texas
burning
Penal
in
Code.
hell. Yeah.
I don't see how she's going to get away with this.
Yeah, I've heard of creative defenses before. I'm struggling with this one. Is the fact that she kept the doors closed and, you know, the idea of maybe she was confining the child to a certain area so the child couldn't get into other parts, that there wasn't an intention necessarily to abandon the child, that she was going to be coming back?
What the hell?
You what?
No. That is not a defense. That is crazy as hell. Oh, I was planning on coming back. That's why I blocked off the kitchen and the other rooms. You are going to burn in hell.
I don't know. Tell me if I'm totally off base.
Yeah, so there's a distinction under the Texas Penal Code between whether she's abandoning the child with intent to come back versus without the intent to come back. That doesn't make her not guilty of that lower level crime where there is an intent to come back. And in that lower level crime,
they mean like ever? Like, oh, I'm just never coming back? Versus like she's like, oh, I just left the kid alone for like a week. I mean, come on. He could feed himself for a week.
She's still looking at up to 2 years of state jail time plus a fine of up to $10,000. And that's if she's able to show that she had the intent to come back. If she did not have the intent to come back, that's a 3rd-degree felony in Texas. And in that case, she would be looking at up to 10 years in prison plus the $10,000 fine. So really, even if she can
even that doesn't seem like enough.
Look, I didn't abandon my child. Okay, maybe I did temporarily, but I had the intent to come back. Fine. You're not guilty of the higher level crime, but you're still guilty of the lower level crime, which has a 2-year state prison sentence.
And if she pleads guilty, could that be on the table, pleading guilty to the lower offense? And I mean, this is pretty bad. Do you think that there's any chance that she wouldn't get prison time even in a guilty plea?
The one factor that will play favorably to her, and always does in all courts, is the fact that she is a military veteran. Courts look favorably upon that. It sounds like she has a job history. Courts look favorably about that. The problem is she's not herself like an 18-year-old kid that has no idea how to parent. She's got a job history. She has military experience.
Yeah, she just crazy as hell. Y'all, her name, I don't know. I don't know what her name is. Hang on, I bet you I could find it if I go over here. Reese Myers.
This isn't rocket science. It's common sense. You do not abandon a 16-month-old child in a home by themselves with two animals. Again, how was this child to feed itself?
Two
How
animals.
is this
Dude.
child supposed to survive?
You better get
And
charged for the animals also.
the child is halfway hanging out of
Unless they're cats, because cats can live forever by themselves. But if it's like a dog, man, you crazy as hell for that too.
this window when good citizens call authorities. What if the child fell out of the window?
I know.
I understand it's ground level. Okay, maybe the child wouldn't have died, but now you have a child out in the street, 16 months old.
Yeah.
Absolutely not acceptable. There's no gray area. There's no way to defend this. There's no explaining it. Take a plea, lady, and good luck.
San Antonio going on.
Damn, she said, take a plea, lady, and good luck. That's what I'm talking about. We need a shirt that says that. Take a plea and good luck.
On a date, admitting it to police. It's open and shut in that sense. But here's the part I'm confused about.
Nicole says, exactly, I'm worried about leaving my 16-year-old.
You what?
Exactly.
So she's arrested in California. Then she's extradited back to Texas this week. How come she wasn't hit with charges with respect to, I guess, essentially being on the run?
The question, the problem is, if she didn't know that she was going to be arrested, if there's no warrant out for her,
But if they told her you gotta come back, you gotta come back. Please, we're police. Come back. We just found your child in the state, and she doesn't show up. What do you think?
I think it just further goes to support her intent to abandon the child. I think it straightens the current charges in terms of fleeing.
Ooh.
I don't know. That may be a gray area. It's not clear why she's in California. I don't know if she had to suddenly.
Man, she's probably trying to get the hell out of Dodge. She's trying to Ellen. She's trying to end up in the UK somewhere, dyeing her hair and acting crazy as.
You what?
Oh, Lord. By the way, TikTok, hit that follow button if you're new here. Tap the screen like crazy. And hit me with these things right here. What's that called? Something dog or something? That's my life. Do it. No, the baby lived. Thank God. Thank God. YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. Let's get 100 likes. And thank you for the super chats, y'all.
Be there something related to her military service. I don't think we have enough information on that. But I don't understand how any parent can leave their child like that, be advised by authorities that the child is found in unsafe conditions, and just say, peace out. Not my problem.
And by the way, maybe they have to continue
It's
this
going to be her problem, though. Spiritual Diamond, thank you. Let's go.
investigation and see what she was up to during this period of time. And if she did have knowledge that the police were after her, if anybody helped her and that those people helped her knowing she was wanted, this case could expand.
Absolutely. It certainly can. But I think it is an open and shut case as to the charges that are now placed, especially with her admission that she went on a Hinge date. I mean, I can think of no more selfish and
Man, you can go on a Hinge date. You went on an unhinged date.
Unhinged bananas crazy.
Yup. That is crazy as hell.
act when you have a young child. And what would it have cost her to find a competent, capable adult to watch this child if she so desperately needs
Probably less than what it costs to fly to California.
to go out? Parenting is tough. Nobody can parent 24/7 all the time. And that is not the standard. The standard is to act like a reasonable human being. The standard is to find somebody, a family member, a friend,
What's up, man?
hire a babysitter. She clearly knows to hire a babysitter. She's
Yeah.
hired this lady before in the December prior. So she's aware that this is an option. She just made a choice not to exercise that option. And that is not just a poor choice, it's a criminal choice in this case.
And that's clear, that knowledge component, and also the pattern. So you have this other former roommate saying, I saw similar behavior. She was neglectful of the child. That's really problematic. It makes me wonder if she actually were to take this to trial, again, I don't know what the defense would be. What could she be looking at in terms of a punishment?
Right. So if she's
Years.
convicted of the lower level felony, she'd be looking at up to 2 years in prison.
And she would get that, you
if she's
think?
I think this is pretty egregious.
Yeah.
It would be up to the judge to decide the sentencing. I think the favorable factors are that she's got this military history and she has an employment history.
Damn, she got things says open to work on it, man. You are crazy.
But really, I've seen clients who have a drug history be treated more favorably because there, at least, there's an excuse. You know, they're under the influence of a substance and they're exercising poor judgment because they're under the influence of a substance and they want to get treatment and they get.
Man, she was under the influence of something. That is crazy as hell.
Treatment and then they're better. Here we're talking about somebody who, under the facts that we know now, is not under the influence of a substance. She is acting rationally, except irrationally, right? She's coherent, she's of clear mind, and she's making a conscious and deliberate choice to put her own self-interests well ahead of a 16-month-old child. She wants to go on a date, and she frankly does not care what happens to her child. Being 2 hours away with no ability to timely come back. It's really just a horrible, selfish act. And I could see a judge, when she's convicted, finding those to be aggravating factors and sentencing her to a sentence that involves state jail time.
Any chance she could ever be reunited with her son in the future?
So the standard for reuniting a parent with a child is what is in the best interest of the child. And I think every parent should have the opportunity to be with their child and should be a positive influence on their child's life. She is still a young woman.
Shocker.
Clearly, she's smart enough and capable enough to work as a paralegal and to have had served in the military. So she has potential. I think she needs to take parenting classes. I think
potential.
You what?
No, she does not have potential. She does not have potential. No parenting class is going to make her realize that it was wrong to leave her kid for a day or two by himself and go to San Antonio for some hinging. You sound crazy as hell. Oh, well, just take a class. No, they're not going to teach you that in class. Do you think you go to a parenting class and a whole chapter of the book is like, well, if you get matched with somebody on Hinge, you shouldn't go. You don't go 2 hours away to be with some random person that you've never met and leave your kid alone. And then when your neighbors find the kid hanging out of the damn window and they call the police calls you, and then they say, hey, we've got your kid here. You need to get home. And then you say, okay. And instead of coming home, you fly from Texas to California. And then you get arrested in California.
You what?
That is crazy. But a class is going to fix that? No. I
think she needs to mature, and I think she needs to learn how to pawn that selfishness and narcissism and become a better parent. And I'm certain that eventually, when those become priorities in her life and when she exhibits the desire to change, she should be able to establish in family court that she should have access to her child.
Oh, hell no.
Perhaps start with supervised visitation, eventually unsupervised visitation.
No.
And maybe she can have her child back.
Hell no. That kid does not need to be anywhere near this lady.
Certainly when her child is old enough, her child will be able to make that decision for himself. But
yeah, and he better
separating
say,
a parent from a child permanently
you left me, I'm leaving you.
A drastic measure.
Florina Altschuyler, thanks so much for coming on. I mean, I'm glad, look, at the very least, I'm glad this child is okay, because this could have been a
that part's it. Yeah.
Very different story that we were covering, as you mentioned, but just a really, really...
Yeah, can you imagine if the kid didn't make it? Dear God, you be going to jail for life. In Texas, they probably take you out.
Bizarre series of explanations here. But Florina, thanks so much for coming on and breaking it down for us. Really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, God almighty. That is crazy. All right, y'all. Let's move on. This is something different. This is something different, y'all. We haven't really talked about this before. Bam! Y'all heard about this place? Etsy? Apparently, it sucks. Apparently, it just is horrible right now for creators or people that create the stuff that's on it. So let's find out, y'all. You guys ready for this one? Bam.
So, has anyone else seen messages like this on their feed lately?
Oh, I don't know. We might have. By the way, y'all, this is a new channel. This is Cactus Lady Creation. She's pinned down in the description on the YouTube video. So, y'all, go show her some love. Go subscribe. Go check out all of her videos and everything like that. TikTok, do the same thing. And let's see what she's talking about. Something about Etsy being crazy as hell.
Everywhere I go online these days, I see artisans and handmade businesses sharing their nightmare stories, which has made me wonder, what is going on with Etsy? If you've ever wondered how a platform that began as a haven for artists and makers ended up driving so many creatives away, you're in the right place.
Ooh, let's hear it.
In this video, we'll discuss its humble beginnings, its rapid rise, and what on earth is going on with Etsy that has caused so many sellers feeling abandoned. All right, let's get into it.
Oh, you used to sell pottery on there, but you haven't in a minute. Curious to see what's going on. Leslie, there you go. See, that's why we do these things, y'all. But we have got to hit some goals. TikTok is mad as hell right now, y'all. 18 out of 100. Bam. Come on. We need it. Hit me with these things down there, y'all. Or TikTok's about to get crazy as hell. Literally, I can already see the overlords just going like, excellent. The
Etsy
birth
was
and
founded
rapid
back in
growth.
2005 by Rob Callan and his partners Chris McGuire and Chaim Skopik in a Brooklyn apartment. Their vision was pretty simple but revolutionary: to create a marketplace dedicated entirely to handmade goods, vintage items, and craft supplies. Facebook Marketplace wasn't even a thing back in these days. The main places to sell online were eBay or Craigslist, and if you were an artist, you might sell in person at a craft fair or a market. So this idea was pretty revolutionary. For artists and small businesses, it was a dream come true, a place to connect directly with buyers who wanted something unique and handmade items rather than mass-produced goods. With Etsy, it was all about authenticity, creativity, and building a space for small artisans and hobbyists who wanted to share their work with the world. Etsy quickly grew popular because it was like a community. There was a real sense of supporting small makers, and it gave artists a chance to focus on their work instead of worrying about building a website or finding an audience. In its early days, Etsy was the only place like it. The platform was easy to use and pretty low cost, with only a 20-cent listing fee and a 3.5% commission on sales, so most artists thought this was pretty fair. What made Etsy so special was its supportive, community-driven atmosphere. Etsy hosted forums, offered seller resources, and even provided business tips that were incredibly helpful for small sellers. There was a real focus on empowering artists and helping them succeed. By about 2010, Etsy had grown exponentially, with over 10 million active buyers and attracting buyers and sellers that were both disillusioned with mass-produced goods. The shop small and support local artists movements were gaining momentum, and Etsy began a central hub for these values. Etsy's growth was also fueled by the early days of social
Then what happened? What kind of craziness did they do?
media, which helped artists reach wider audiences. Suddenly, small creators could make a living, or at least supplement their income on Etsy, and buyers loved it too. They got access to one-of-a-kind items, personalized gifts, and a real connection with the person behind the product. As Etsy's popularity skyrocketed, naturally it started gaining attention from investors, which led to some significant changes that would ultimately shape the platform's future.
Oh, hell. And then not only the future, but the downfall. Etsy goes public and changes begin.
Fast forward to 2015, Etsy went public on the New York Stock Exchange. This was a big moment because it meant that Etsy had shareholders and was now under pressure to show profits. It was around this time that sellers and buyers started to notice some changes. For example, Etsy introduced Etsy Manufacturing, which began allowing more mass-produced items and raised concerns among many artisans.
Oh, you are crazy as hell. Hey, you know this place that's really cool because you can get small, like unique, one-of-a-kind pieces? Let's just change all that and mass-produce stuff.
Etsy Manufacturing was
Okay.
created to help sellers find manufacturers to form responsible partnerships and scale up their production. However, some sellers began seeing listings that seemed too factory-made for a site that branded itself as a handmade paradise. Etsy assured its sellers that it would review these manufacturing partners, but it just seemed like the platform was straying from its roots. Etsy did make a lot of great improvements, such as focusing on mobile app growth and improved its seller services. Then in May 2017, Josh Silverman took over as the CEO, and a large number of layoffs took place, and as well as a shift of focus to profitability, which is exactly what he did. The new Etsy system was a lot faster and easier for customers to use. And they did invest in new marketing tools for sellers to find new customers and scale their businesses. Silverman joined Etsy's board in November 2016 and became CEO after an activist investor called for the company's sale. During his tenure, Etsy had grown from a low-key online marketplace for crafters to an e-commerce juggernaut with a market cap of over $20 billion. However, Etsy's successes didn't necessarily mean that the sellers would also grow. And then came some fee changes. Between 2017 and 2020, Etsy saw a series of changes that were aimed at increasing their company's profits. But these motives also introduced higher fees and more competitive pressures for the sellers. In 2018, Etsy announced its first significant fee increase, raising the transaction fee from 3.5% to 5%, and for the first time, applying this fee not just to the product price, but to the fees for the product, as well as the shipping cost and gift wrapping as well. This decision—
Oh, damn. They said, man, we're tired of not making all that money.
caused an immediate outcry from sellers who felt blindsided by the increase. For many business owners, these new fees made already slim profit margins even thinner. Sellers who were used to paying Etsy a small portion of their sales suddenly found their overall costs rising, sometimes by double or more. It was a huge hit, especially for those who sold lower cost items or had to factor in higher shipping costs like international sellers. To put it simply, many sellers were forced to raise their prices, which risked making their products less attractive to budget-conscious buyers. Then, in 2019, Etsy introduced something called offsite ads, a program where Etsy would advertise sellers' listings across Google, Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms. While exposure from these ads could really help sellers, the catch was that it came with a hefty fee, up to 15% of each sale made through these ads. And here's the kicker. For sellers that made over $10,000 in annual sales each year, even if the seller didn't want or need the additional exposure, they were automatically enrolled and couldn't opt out. For a lot of sellers, these fee changes felt like a betrayal of the platform's original values.
That is crazy as hell. They said, oh, you sell more than $10,000? Well, you're going to take commission anyways. We're using that stuff because people actually buy your stuff and we know it. So if we put it up on all these other places, it's going to make us even more money.
Etsy had always been about supporting small, independent artists and makers, but now it seemed like Etsy was prioritizing revenue growth and expansion, even at the expense of sellers who built its reputation. Sellers took to forums, social media, and even organized petitions, trying to push back against these changes, but Etsy largely stuck to its new policies. Sellers began to feel like Etsy was no longer working for them. In fact, it was working against them. But the final straw for many sellers lately has been Etsy's tendency to randomly shut down shops without notice or explanation. What? Imagine logging in to manage your orders only to find out that your shop has been temporarily suspended or in some cases completely deactivated. For many sellers, this is more than a minor inconvenience. It's a
You You what?
Main income source suddenly disappearing with no clear explanation. This is terrifying. You're left scrambling, trying to reach Etsy's customer service support, but in many cases, the responses were slow or unhelpful. Why are shops being closed? Well, Etsy says that these shutdowns are part of their efforts to crack down on fraud and ensure marketplace integrity. While these intentions seem good on the surface, the execution has been widely criticized. Legitimate shops with years of successful sales and positive reviews have found themselves locked out, unable to contact customers, fulfill orders, or even access their earnings. In many cases, sellers are given a generic message about policy violations, but are left guessing about what they actually did wrong. Some sellers have had their shops closed over minor infractions or due to Etsy's automatic systems flagging their account. And for those trying to reach customer support, the experience can be a nightmare. One of the biggest issues with these random shutdowns is the lack of clear appeal process. For many sellers, it feels like they're left in limbo, trying to prove their innocence without any guidance on what went wrong. And if their appeal is rejected, there's no way to reopen their shop or even recover their earnings from pending sales. It's a stressful and sometimes devastating situation, especially for those who rely on Etsy for their livelihood. In response, sellers have banded together to form online communities where they can share their stories and offer support to others going through the same experience. Some have created resources or guides to navigate Etsy's complex support system, but ultimately, the process still widely remains unpredictable. Over time, these shutdowns have pushed more and more artists and small business owners to reconsider their relationship with Etsy. While Etsy was once seen as a reliable partner, these shutdowns have made it feel risky for sellers who depend on the platform for income. For many, it's simply not worth the stress and uncertainty. For many small businesses, Etsy is still a vital part of their business and they still love it. But at this point, I've also heard so many horror stories. It just seems like it's hard to actually speak to a human at Etsy, and there also seems to be a lack of transparency. And also, there are a lot of seller fee increases. In April 2022, the transaction fee for sellers increased again from 5% to 6.5%, where it now stands at the time of this video. Etsy said this increase was a part of its plan to improve the platform in several ways, including more promotion, providing 20.
They said, we're going to start taking more of your money, but because we want to improve the platform. Use your money to improve the platform, you crazy. You're worth $20 billion.
24/7 live support. And
here's an idea. Lower that. That improves the platform because you have more stuff on there because people are like, oh, I can actually sell on there again. Yay. Kimberly, thank you. I was about to say, y'all, we got to hit that goal. TikTok is mad as hell, y'all. We got to hit these goals. Come on.
Moving listings that don't follow Etsy's policies. However,
TikTok is doing the same thing that this thing's doing.
This increase was met with a massive protest, with thousands of Etsy sellers across the platform either putting their shop on vacation mode or leaving Etsy altogether. It's tough because I totally understand that Etsy does need to raise its fees in order to turn a profit and to provide services for all of the sellers on the platform. But it's also tough because the sellers need to also make a profit. And if their profit margin is suddenly getting thinner, it's also really difficult for them to stay on the platform. And a lot of sellers don't want to pass down that seller fee to their customers by increasing their product costs. So a lot of them just end up leaving the platform for that as well. Currently, here's a list of the fees to operate on Etsy. There's a listing fee that's 20 cents, which expires after 4 months. A transaction fee, which is 6.5%. And this is, as I mentioned earlier, not only charged on the item to sell it, but also on the fees for the product, such as shipping and gift wrapping. So for example, if you sell an item that's $10 retail price with $4 shipping, Etsy will charge 65 cents for the retail and 26 cents on the shipping fee, which brings the total to 91 cents. Payment processing fee is 3% plus 25 cents in the US. When you sell a product, Etsy deducts a payment processing fee, which varies based on your payment processing service in your specific region, such as sales tax or VAT. And a lot of sellers just like Etsy only for this reason alone, because it handles sales tax and VAT, and so that they don't have to handle it. And it also handles currency conversion, which is really helpful. But it does charge for currency conversion as well. Currency conversion is 2.5%. And if your Etsy payments are in a different country than your product listings, then there's also a conversion fee for that. There's also a regulatory operating fee for my friends in the UK, France, Italy, India, Spain, Turkey, Vietnam, and Canada. There are also several optional fees as well, such as Etsy ads, which are cost per click. There are also offsite ads, and if you've made over $10,000 in sales in the past 365 days, this is mandatory. Etsy offsite ads appear on Google, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Bing, and Etsy publishing partner sites, which are publications like Martha Stewart and My Wedding, as well as the Google Display Network. There are also shipping label fees, and Etsy does provide a discounted service for printing postage labels for your package. There's a subscription fee, which is Etsy Plus, and that's $10 a month, and this includes some benefits. Also, if you're selling in
This
person,
includes some benefits? What kind of benefit? What would make that worth anything? Man, y'all are crazy as hell for that, Etsy.
there's only a 20-cent fee for this. So if you're selling in person at a market or a pop-up, Etsy will charge a 20-cent fee instead of that 6.5% transaction fee. And so you only have to pay that 20-cent fee plus the processing fees, for example, for a Square Reader, which will be about 2.6 to 3.5%, as well as pattern fee, which is $15 a month. And Etsy's pattern feature lets you design a custom store website, and you can start a 30-day free trial to see if it works for your business. And then after that trial period, you'll be charged a $15 monthly subscription fee. So between all the different seller fees, this has caused a massive income drop for many Etsy
that sounds crazy.
sellers who are diehard fans of the platform. There are also nightmare stories about Etsy shops being put into reserve, which is when a percentage of the seller's funds for each new sale of a physical item is not available for deposit for a period of time, meaning that shops have had their entire revenue stream suddenly paused, leaving many sellers in a lurch and unable to continue running their businesses. Also that, and the rising competition of other online marketplaces like Shein and Temu over the past few years have truly given Etsy a run for its money. But let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see a part 2 on more info about all of this. These changes aren't just frustrating, they're devastating for small businesses that rely on Etsy for income. Think about it. A lot of these makers don't have other sales channels, and many went to Etsy because it was known for supporting creators. Now, with random shutdowns and mass-produced competition and increased fees, it feels like Etsy is prioritizing its shareholders over the very community that it helped grow. So what's next for Etsy? Well, the platform is still growing, but it's definitely not the same as it once was. Etsy seems to be focused on becoming a mainstream e-commerce giant, which might mean even more mass-produced items and less focus on handmade quality. For some sellers, these changes push them to find other alternatives, like My Community Made or Maker's Place, or even creating their own website. And if you're a maker who's on another Etsy alternative, let us know in the comments below. And some sellers have even created their own websites, but that's a huge step, especially if you're used to Etsy's built-in audience and don't have the tech skills or budget to set up a new shop. More and more, we're seeing sellers build their own communities through platforms on social media, creating their own websites, or starting on alternative sites similar to Etsy that doesn't have Etsy's baggage. I'm personally a fan of starting your own website, especially if you're planning on being in business for a while. It may be daunting and the process might take a while, but it's definitely worth it to have that kind of control. And there are also
well, I bet you this girl makes stuff, because look at all that yarn behind her. She's got hella yarn back there. What you crocheting?
Myriad of ways of sending traffic to your website. So let me know if you'd also like another video on that. But that's the story of Etsy's.
This is actually pretty cool. It's something totally different than what we usually do. Cactus Lady Creation, y'all, on YouTube.
Rise and fall in the eyes of the handmade community. It started with a vision to support artists, but may have lost its way along the path to profit. If you're an artist who's currently on Etsy or used to be, let me know your thoughts below. I mean, did these changes affect you? And if they did, let me know. Or maybe they didn't and you still love the platform. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You what?
Etsy, you crazy as hell. But hey, they said, you think we care about your little homemade things? No, we're going to find people that mass produce stuff and make hella money. Anyways, let's continue on, y'all. This is Cops on the Hunt TV. This one sounds crazy, y'all. It says, oh, damn, I must be tired. That hit me hard. Y'all, TikTok, what the hell? We still haven't hit a single goal on TikTok tonight. What? Oh my God. Come on, y'all. We got to get some Rose action or something. Come on, TikTok. Nobody's even in here. Come on, y'all. Hit some goals so TikTok doesn't get mad at the channel. You guys know the channel is not monetized at all, other than the live gifts and the subscriptions. And the subscriptions, y'all, we used to have like 320. We got 104. So we got to get the subscriptions up. We got to get some goals hit, y'all. Come on. I don't want to just be going live on YouTube every night. Although that's really not a bad idea, actually. YouTube, where y'all at? Come on, y'all. Let's do this. All right. Let's pop over to this thing. What's the next one? It is it says, hey, TikTok, y'all get over here, right? Exactly. All right, let's find this one out, y'all. Okay, so this says pretty privilege. When pretty privilege doesn't work with no nonsense cops. What? Woman gets a reality check. Oh, hell, let's go. Carol, thank you so much.
Everyone just stand up for me. Okay. Now we're going
Oh, hell.
to detain you right now, okay? Keep your hands behind your back.
Oh, damn, she looked mad as hell, y'all. She's like, what the hell are we doing? By the way, yeah, Cops on the Hunt TV is the YouTube channel pinned down in the description. So make sure you go subscribe, check them out, and let's see what they're about.
On September 3rd, 2023, the police were called to a situation involving a new employee who was accused of theft. According to the caller, this employee had been taking significant amounts of makeup products and other items from her workplace.
Oh, man, you crazy as hell.
The stolen goods amounted to thousands of dollars.
It says hashtag joy on the wall back there.
You what?
Oh, no.
Indicating a serious breach of trust and potential criminal activity.
Okay.
Adopted, so I don't really have like anything like that.
Are you closer coming? And
I can show you what I
camera.
to go to as well.
Alright. Unfortunately, taking it right, okay? So, you're a female, am I going to search you? Do you have anything on you that I should know about? I'm going to take my phone from you. Alright. Let's see here.
Upon arriving at the scene, the officer discovered that the cashier involved would steal hundreds of dollars worth of makeup items just before ending her shift. This pattern of behavior indicated a systematic approach to theft, where the cashier exploited her position to remove valuable merchandise discreetly.
Female that
That's crazy as hell.
she's been here a month and she has taken just about $1,000 worth of merchandise. One handling this. I'll have her down here in just a second. So here's her statement. Here's the evidence, and she'll be able to talk you through anything. If just give me 1 second. She'll be down here in like a minute. All right.
Got it.
All right. I just gave
What
her
would you like from me?
high level overview.
Give me the whole picture. What's happening?
So she's only been here for 30 days.
Okay.
We've only been able to prove 1,000 something. She admitted
These
to
three here?
Mm-hmm.
This adds up to $800 something.
There was some on the 3rd. I haven't printed any of those just yet. It's on the statement here for 215.
Okay.
I was able to find that last night.
Yeah,
and
everything
then
you
she
sleep with,
admitted
thank you.
to it during our interview as well.
Okay. What does TM stand for?
Team member.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's okay. I was like,
I work at the
her name
Port
is
Orange
TM?
one, and they're like they know my acronyms.
No,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I write tickets. I don't know anything about this.
No problem.
The CCTV footage revealed that the cashier employed a tactic to avoid suspicion by being flirtatious with the loss prevention officer. This behavior allowed her to exit the store with stolen items unnoticed. Over time, Her theft escalated to larger and more valuable items, such as an air fryer and other household goods.
She walked out with an air fryer. Man, you are crazy as hell. She was flirting with the loss prevention guy. She's like, "Oh, hey, have you ever used one of these things? Do you know how to use this air fryer?" Selena, howdy, man. Thank you for the hat. That's what I'm talking about. Can you imagine that?
Basically, what she does is she selects a bunch of like makeup, clothes, food, anything she needs, and then she'll go grab bags, put all the merch in the bags, and then walks out with it.
Got it.
They're saying on the wall for like every day.
Is the 4th the day that you like first saw it?
So
And
the
then you
4th
like
was,
went back on the 3rd and saw
so the
that
4th
happen?
was the day that we were actually going to apprehend her as an external subject until we realized she was one of ours.
Okay.
Oh, hell.
And because curiosity kills the cat, why wait till now?
So I'm not the leader of the store. He went on vacation. She called out for most of her shifts after. So we were gonna pull her on Tuesday, but she called out. And then she called out yesterday.
Oh, hell, because she knew she was busted. Wendy, thank you so much. That's what I'm talking about now. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. We can actually hit these goals now. TikTok's not going to be mad at me.
But we target for internals, you have to get 3 at least incidents to show a pattern.
Dear God, it was loud as hell.
So for you guys to stop an employee, they have to do it 3 times?
At least enough to show a pattern.
So let's just say this. Now I'm just asking a question. Hypothetically, if these didn't happen and it was just this, what would you guys do with just this?
It would be up to my higher up HR.
And
I would try to go
That's her, y'all.
Yeah.
What to do?
Thank you, Mims.
Yes, like my level is like here. The one you saw running in, he's my boss.
I got you. Okay.
Selena, thank you. Wendy, thank
the
you.
person that makes that decision was out of town or something on vacation.
Yeah. So the actual leader of this office isn't here, so we were able to get all of this.
So on the 5th, she's in a different room down there. They're doing her termination paperwork or something like that.
Oh, she's an employee?
Yes.
Oh, I thought she was a customer.
No. So this here says...
Oh, Lord.
Wait, is it an Asian girl sitting over here?
Oh, this
That's
is her.
me.
Oh,
Thank
sorry.
you, though.
No, that's not a girl sitting by herself in the office. Is that her?
No.
Wendy, thank you.
She's all the way in that store director office.
So we got on the 4th, which is this 290, but this adds up to 240.
It's pre-tax.
Well, the total is that, minus tax 240.
There was some on these that we couldn't change the price of because the underwear kept going in for 4 for 18.
Man, she stole underwear?
How dare you?
You crazy as hell. You can't buy underwear? You gotta try and steal that from your job. It's crazy as hell.
Oh, regular price $5, regular $7.
And then I believe that Deke, the APS here, was able to find a couple other stuff that she admitted to as well.
Well, this, and this add up like 808 or something like that.
Only charges.
Right, but it doesn't match here because of this sale. So regular price $7, 4 for 18.
Insane.
NYX.
Leslie, thank you.
Ninja food blender and a facial steamer on it.
You stole a Ninja food blender and a facial steamer? Man.
Yeah, every single one has been close to like $220. Now again.
Oh, is that a blender? Is that what she's saying? Okay, so the blender, yeah. Regular price $69.
This isn't my store, so I've only been here for like the tail end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you working at? Oh, what's happening?
I've lived here my whole life, but
Where does it say, like, for instance, if she bought 2 blenders, where would it say that she bought the, like, quantity of 2? Where
it would be right there, but that one just has the blender, Levi's shorts in it. The only thing that was different that we were trying to change price was the underwear from what they told me.
Okay, so all
They said
this
the
stuff
underwear.
is underwear.
Yeah, and bras. She has bras as well.
So she bought one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these.
Correct.
But the sale price is
yes.
that.
When you do the training receipts, they do not allow you to take the sale off.
Do you have them? You want me to interview her?
Yeah, she's just sitting in the office. She's quick to flee.
You want me to?
Oh, yeah.
Let's just please then.
Yeah, let's do that.
Where's she at?
I can walk you guys down there.
The female cashier offered weak justifications for her theft, telling the loss prevention officer that she took the items because she was starting fresh after moving into her first apartment.
Oh my God. I'm starting fresh by moving into my first apartment, so I had to steal all this stuff. You are crazy as hell, lady.
This excuse was likely an attempt to elicit sympathy and rationalize her actions, despite the clear evidence of her theft.
No, we rather not.
Yeah, despite the fact that you were crazy as hell.
I would say so we're all in one place. Can we bring that stuff down there?
Yeah.
You want to grab that?
Yeah.
Show me which way we go. Oh, okay. Sure.
Go.
Well, I had no idea they went this far back.
Let me knock real quick.
This way?
Ready?
Man, she probably stole them shoes right there, too.
Hello, Miss Diamond. Hey. Can you do me a favor and just stand up for me? Okay. We're going to detain you right now, okay? Can you put your hands behind your back?
Yeah.
Put the backs of your hands together.
Like you're praying. Let's do that.
Oh, okay. Either way.
Off the wood.
That's fine.
All right. Do you have an ID with you anywhere or anything?
No, I don't have it on me.
Is it here?
No, I don't carry it with me.
So you didn't bring anything with you?
Just my phone and my water and my lunch. That's it.
Okay, where's your phone at?
It's in my pocket.
Okay. I'm going to read this to you because we want to ask you some questions, but because you're not free to leave, I have to read this to you, okay?
Okay.
Man.
You do have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to have an attorney present now or any time during questioning by either me or this is Officer Benitez. If you cannot afford an attorney, it won't be appointed to you without cost. You have the right to stop answering questions at any time and speak to it. Do you understand what I've read to you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you wish to answer my questions or no?
That's fine.
Okay. That means yes?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so obviously we're here for some shoplifting stuff. Do you want to tell us about that?
The cashier repeatedly claimed that she had no
that went quick.
plans to sell the stolen items and that they were solely for her personal use. By emphasizing this, she aimed to minimize the perceived severity of her actions and portray herself as someone who was only taking what she believed she needed.
You needed all that stuff?
You took a air fryer.
It was a what?
Facial.
It was a Universal Threat shirt, but I just fixed it for now. Blender. Just because it's on video of the Universal Threat shirt.
Is this all you do at work?
Well, you just put it
Like, are you just work or do you have other things you do? Like school or you like
I already finished school.
Do we have a
I'm sorry?
I used to be an engineer. And then
Wendy,
I
thank
lost
you.
my job.
receipt or video for this?
Huh?
Why?
Why did I lose my job?
Couldn't make one.
I lost my brother.
Um,
And then just
okay,
went
so
through
we got
depression.
third.
Homework.
You can do a video for it and a receipt for all that
Yeah, I can
as
preview
well?
that.
Okay. We have the fourth.
Have you been arrested before?
No.
2197.
The total amount you have is over the misdemeanor amount, so unfortunately you're looking at a felony charge.
So,
Alright.
on 5 we have 231 and 284.
I mean, was there anything you could do, like get a second job or ask for overtime? I mean, cause when I needed money to like buy stuff, I pick up overtime. Yeah.
I'm looking for a second job. We don't do overtime.
I got you, but I mean, if I'm in need of facials, less.
She obviously isn't going to do the right thing. She thought it was okay, and she was just going to flirt her way out of getting in trouble with the loss prevention guy. That's what they said she did, y'all. She was coming out, and the little loss prevention guy was like, "Hey, what are you doing with all that stuff?" And she's like, "What am I doing with what stuff, huh? What stuff? What are you talking about? Oh my God, I need this." And then now, try again.
I want to buy. You understand?
A what?
A facial machine or whatever, a steamer.
I was trying to make like side thing.
I get it, but I mean, if I'm a survival mode, I'm buying food. I'm not trying to take stuff like that.
Yeah, good
I
point.
just got approved for SNAP benefits. So
What is it?
SNAP benefits?
What, like
Yep.
food stamps? What were you working before?
I used to do sales.
Where at?
It was called Unity Exchange. It's for a charity.
What weapon engineer job? Where were you working for that?
Universal.
Sure. What kind of engineering?
Physics engineering.
So you're a smart girl. Because I got fraternity brothers are engineers and they're smart. So.
It was a good job. It just.
Okay. So if you're a smart girl, man, like, you know.
Okay, yeah, this is a Target one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same one though.
I mean, Target spends a lot of money in surveillance and loss prevention, so you're gonna get caught sooner or later.
After reviewing all the evidence, including the CCTV footage and the information gathered, the officer decided to arrest the cashier. She placed her in handcuffs, taking this step to ensure the suspect was detained and to proceed with formal legal actions. Following the arrest, the police collected additional information and took the suspect's fingerprints at the scene. They then transported her to the police station for further investigation.
No hell.
He said they found these items here in a bag.
One more try here.
Like scanned them all, and she made it out with all of them.
Come, you try
I
me.
was
Okay.
adopted, so I don't really have like anything like that.
Gotcha. Are you closer, family?
In
I
that.
can show you what I
Somewhere.
took out.
Alright. Unfortunately, taking a ride, okay? So, you're a female, am I gonna search you? Do you have anything on you that I should know about? I'm gonna take my phone from you. Alright. What's here?
That's my lip gloss.
Okay, I'm gonna reach in and grab it out, okay?
I don't know if that's your lip gloss. That's probably Target's lip gloss. If we're, you steal all that makeup, that's probably Target's lip gloss. That lady's gonna be like, you know what? Give me that. We're gonna take that back.
Anything else?
That's all.
Alright, anything in your bras, anything in your underwear?
Yeah.
Alright, like I said, you're a female, I'm not gonna search you, but I'm gonna let the female correctional officers search you, deputies should say. So if you have anything on you, please let me know ahead of time so I can let them, because if you have anything on you, once it wasn't there, it's an additional charge, and that's out of my hand, they do that, and it's a felony charge.
Okay.
Okay?
Nothing at all. No drugs, needles, knives, guns, weapons. Nothing. Nothing even where we can't reach. Catch my drift.
Is this all your property up here?
Yeah.
Car keys or anything?
You can take. You want your lunchbox?
No.
What about car keys? You have car keys?
Do you want your lunchbox? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the handcuffs and just go with me, and I'll get back to you. Okay.
Damn, that dude looking crazy as hell right there. That dude's like, man, I hope he ain't coming to get me. Holy hell. That dude looks like he's been stealing the box dye hair color for like the last 15 to 17 years.
Fine, so it's kind of like a payment is free to get out until your trial date. That's a receipt. So, misdemeanor, a felony charge, bonds will be like $1,000. Or if you get a bondsman, let's go over. I don't want to grab it. Yeah, the judge will give you your phone. You get to write down 2 or 3 numbers, I believe.
The suspect was charged with grand theft. Court records revealed that a loss prevention officer had assisted her in stealing the items. which allowed her to bypass store checkpoints. As a result, the officer was dismissed from his position, and the suspect was ordered to
The loss prevention dude that she was flirting with got fired also.
pay over $1,000 in restitution to Target. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button.
Oh, man, that is crazy as hell. That dude got fired for that. He's sitting there like, man, she told me she loved me.
Emotional damage.
Nope. Not good enough, sir. Not good enough. Anyways, y'all, that's all I got for tonight. This is crazy as hell. I'm going to go to sleep. I am tired. But I love you guys. Thanks for being here. YouTube, go watch some of the ghost hunting stuff. It's going to kick you over to the haunted side on YouTube. Go watch it. Love you guys. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. See y'all tomorrow.